This day is insane. So just full disclosure, because that's my go-to phrase. Let's just do a chill, short, 38-minute episode or whatever, and we'll be good. If we need to add on to it on Thursday, we'll add on to it on Thursday. Maybe it'll just be a short one.
Thursday's Thanksgiving.
Oh.
Yeah, that might not be a good idea.
Jacob, were you joking when you said that?
He
Yes,
totally was.
He straight-faced you right into the bag, baby.
This is I am feeling the pain that I felt when I edited the episode where I literally said Zed's last name wrong 5 times in a row, while 5 people were trying to correct me, including Pixie in the chat. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 15 of RPGs Anonymous. I am Zachary, your GM. Take it away.
Hi, I'm Aaron. I'm also Carl. I'm two-faced.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Jacob. I also play Tyke, or Steve Stevenson.
I am Goose.
I'm Dr. Zed.
When we left off, you all were standing in this weird orrery sort of style area with this big contraption suspended over the library, with these glass orbs, a bunch of strange BS that none of you really understand. You were talking to the Oracle, which is this one-armed member of the Order of the Deep Candle, these like 8-9 foot tall members, all robed in black with no skin or appendages whatsoever showing. This one, the Oracle, is a little bit shorter than the rest, so maybe between like 7 and 8 feet tall rather than 8 and 9. Who knows? They're missing an arm, which we found out was because of Barazel's run-in with the Order of the Deep Candle before, and the party was asking questions of the Oracle, who was divining answers via this stone tablet in their hand and this big contraption. And the last thing that was asked was by Goose, who he asked what was going on with his wife at the VA when she was being treated. And it was a vague answer, not very detailed. The Oracle basically said that there may be risk if they delve into it deeper, but that something not great happened. And Colby, ergo Goose, decided to risk it. And we find out that his wife was murdered. At least that would be the name for it, is murder. His wife was murdered. So that is the moment that we left off on. So let's I want to know the Oracle stops and says this out loud to everyone. So everybody witnesses this moment where they say, essentially, Goose, your wife was murdered. What is everybody's immediate reactions? I'm okay if Goose goes first.
I will not go first, but I do want to clarify. He said something about and it was because of something I did.
Yes, right? Let me try and remember the exact words. I think they said, I believe you would call it murder, and it was because of you, or something to that effect, or because of. I don't know. It was very vague, but it was definitely being that. It was related to you. So not only do you know that she was murdered, but she was murdered related to something that you did, were doing, or were going to do. Is sort of the rough feel. I don't remember the exact wordage. That was a week ago. I'm a dummy. So yeah.
I thought you just had a script that you're reading off of the whole time.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yep, that's how I do things. I'm so prepared. Okay, so what is the rest of the party's reaction? Because I think it makes sense that Goose has this little moment.
I'm relatively healthy. I would like to donate some life force to find out who murdered Goose's wife.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah, I'm okay with this. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, as we saw last time, the Oracle will sort of gesture with the tablet to the little orb there, and they will also say, "I cannot promise that this will be successful. The things that I gleaned were costly to me, and it is very heavily occluded. Are you okay with the risk?
Yeah, hit me with your best shot.
Okay. And as we saw last time, actually,
Barracuda!
Zed, I don't think we saw you do this last time. We didn't. Ooh, so we get to find out what color Zed's life force is.
Yeah, we were busy with Barazel taunting the Oracle.
Yeah, we were. I'm glad we got. So. Yeah. So, what color is Zed's life force? And I think we probably already know the answer to that, but I'm gonna obviously let you answer. And is it changed at all by Barazel?
Yeah. So, Tyke, are you connected telepathically to the group?
Yeah, we haven't really used that a whole lot, but I feel like my understanding of how the rules work, I feel like I basically should be in telepathic, like act as a telepathic hub for the group.
Yeah, okay. I think unless, because I have a whole bunch of like tools at my disposal to stop that if I want to. Just assume that you can, unless I tell you you can't. And okay. I can just use it as like a dramatic thing. So assume that you can for the time being.
So you've heard Barazel cry out in pain before, but this is true agony as he's screaming inside Zed's head. And out comes the little tiny golden aura, and like swirling in it is the red that is Barazel.
And I think, speaking of dramatic moments to get rid of the telepathy, I think Barazel's screaming shorts it out. And we're going to cut that off for the rest of the encounter. Because that sounds fun. So you guys assume for the rest of the encounter you're not. Because I'm an asshole. So yes, we see this like golden aura that you guys saw before around Zed as he was freaking out of control in the restaurant and afterwards until he was reunited with his puppers. And it's tainted with this kind of scary, angry red color as well. It shoots into a couple different orbs as well, similarly to how the Oracle did. Please take your 3 wounds and 3 strain. And those I'm going to say 4 different orbs start to like rotate, and the life force vapor starts to dissipate from them and off of the tablet. And
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Do the colors separate and go into different orbs?
Ooh. I think
we had the devil card last time, so I'm just wondering.
We did. I think I personally want you to decide that. Right at this moment, I want you to decide that.
Yeah, I think they do.
Okay. So yeah, I think what happens is the essences sort of like come out all together, and then as they're filling into these orbs, they separate into two golden orbs. Actually, 3 red orbs and 1 golden orb.
I would like to put a caveat on that. Some small piece of red needs to be in that gold, though. It's his magic.
Is it, though?
Yeah, I think we established that he has a little bit of power on his own.
It's on his own, but it's like a catalyst.
Let's leave that unanswered and instead just say that it is 3 purely red orbs and 1 fainter, purely golden orb. I like that. So we can you can read into that what you will, but they're fully separated. The gold is definitely more. It's in the smallest of the 4 orbs, and it is fainter. But they are fully separated. And I think again you see the Oracle sort of like stumble a moment like they did with the big reading from Goose, and. Trying to decide exactly how I want to word this. Let me ask actually, Goose, do you have an idea? Because I've got a few options. I'm wondering if you have any input here. I mean, it's your wife after all.
My wife.
My wife. It's 20. The second one is out. It's not funny anymore. We can't.
Yeah, can't.
The joke's over.
The person who did it / like the thing he did that caused them to do it is somehow related to his military service. Is about
Okay.
as specific as I thought of it.
Okay, I was kind of going in that direction too. So I'm gonna use a card here. Actually, do I want to use the card or do I want to pull a new one? Let's use one because we have a bunch. I'm gonna use. Oh, this is good. Yeah. I want to know. I'm gonna give you the choice, Colby. Between I'll figure out what the interpretation is, but I can either use the Seven of Cups here, plan, design, resolution, decision, or I can use the King of Wands, natural born leader, vision, entrepreneur, honor. The King of Wands is focused on the present. The Seven of Cups is focused on the future. So I'm gonna give you the choice between that.
Say cups.
Cups, plan, design, resolution, decision. All right.
2 bottles of whiskey for the way.
Typing.
And I would like some sweet company.
Okay, so there is a long pause as the Oracle sort of like collects themselves, and they sort of like stand there almost motionless. Kind of, it looks almost like they're pausing dramatically, until you notice that they're sort of like, you can sort of hear the very, very faint breaths that are faster. They seem to be breathing heavily a little bit, at least more heavily than they were before. They seem to be very taxed, but they are, sort of like just standing there. And there's this really long, drawn out, tense silence before they say, "A now deceased member of the corporation you are hunting."
I immediately look at Fitz.
Go
I
ahead.
think Goose is like still frozen still. Like he doesn't even acknowledge Fitz at this point.
Yeah. I think Fitz, when you look at Fitz, Zed, his eyes are a little bit glossy, and I think he has just a little bit, like 5% of slack jaw. Like he's like, just his mouth is just a little bit open, and he just looks the absolute poster boy for shock. And he just shakes his head. And he looks shocked and confused. What do you guys do?
No, I don't remember killing anybody. So I don't think we did it.
Did you hear the word deceased?
Yes, but I was
Yes.
assuming that on our exit we may have killed somebody that I don't remember or recall.
If my sources are correct, you did not end anyone's life.
No, we didn't. I mean, I kind of Dan, but that was a computer. Doesn't really count.
Dan is very much alive now. More so than when you met him.
I also forgot people didn't actually die when they were killed by computers.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, sorry. Dang, a tough room.
It's trying to, dude, that felt like me in episode 1 when I kept trying to like pull us back from the like really scary bullshit and then also introducing more scary bullshit. It's just like real tense room and can we do a joke? And it's just no, we cannot. No, it's not allowed right now.
All right.
Apparently.
I didn't read that right. Yeah.
So they are going to say next, "I apologize, and this doesn't happen often. I am a little ashamed to admit, but I cannot do further readings today."
Okay.
If you wish to dissect, digest or analyze the answers you have today, I suggest you speak with one of our other members.
An
What would be-
astronomer or an engineer or like a conductor or something. I mean, what's the next name you got for us?
The Arcana, I believe, was our next stop.
Yeah.
The Arcane can offer much to your group,
The
but
one.
it may be that your answers to these answers lie outside of our order. We are not omniscient nor omnipotent.
So, you gonna check out the Arcana, or are we gonna leave? Because we still got the train, Dan. Like, apparently Dan matters somehow.
I think still looking at the prophet.
Oracle. It's the Arcane
Oracle.
and the Oracle. My God, guys.
The Prophorical.
You guys can get it wrong all you want in character, but come on. I'm kidding. It's fine. I don't mind.
Yeah, Goose just starts asking Fitz, where does IS Corp keep records of missions?
Ooh, was not expecting that, bud. I have to actually look, real quick at my notes, Pixie. Yes, I do have notes. Got him. Yes, thank you. Wrecked. I'm kidding. Pixie, you're the best. Oh, by the way, did you guys know that Pixie is Dr. Romanoff? I don't know if we talked about that before, but she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Where did it go? Acronyms. There we go.
I mean, either records of missions or actually records of deceased corporate members.
So he will say, it depends, obviously shaken. It depends on the exact nature of things and how under wraps it was. If it was a relatively wide activity, then administrative will have it. If it isn't, I don't know. There are a lot of covert divisions, and without knowing why this happened, I can't say more. And then he pauses for a moment and sort of visibly steals himself and says, regardless of what has happened, I'm with you on this one, Goose. Whatever you need.
I need to know who the order came from.
I understand. That we need access to their general servers. We need access to their general information. And there are two places that can come from. I don't know if we should talk about it here, though.
The underground below a bookstore in the middle of Portland, is that a bad place to talk about things like this?
Carl, I understand you don't like me, but
No, I just mean this is probably one of the most secure facilities in the entire city. We should talk about things like this here because I don't think 8-foot guru with one arm there is going to take anything from us and sell it to anybody.
look, after what was just said, I'm not taking anything for granted anymore, and I'm not trusting anybody we don't have to trust. As far as I'm concerned, this is the 5 of us
Versus a cargo company?
versus a cargo company. Anybody that doesn't have to be looped in doesn't get to be looped in anymore. I'm done with that. Are we agreed?
Yeah, I think we've hit the cap for this group.
All right, let's find somewhere secure, and we can talk this over. And I think with that, the arcane sort of, or not the arcane, fuck, man, now I'm getting it wrong.
The engineer,
The
conductor.
The oracle.
You
janitor.
guys want a joke just to lighten the mood, just a tiny bit? I literally have one. And you guys aren't going to find this out because you're about to leave. And I don't expect you guys to come back for a while. There is one that is named the Comedian, and the reason that this is a dumb joke. I'm sorry. The reason that they're named that is because there's this initiation. None of your characters know this, but there's this initiation process that goes on, and then you choose the like role that you're going to take on, and if there isn't an opening, you create a new one. And this person, as a joke to the board of these people, said, "Well, is there a comedian?" And everybody laughed, like all of the order laughed so much that they literally forced them to be the comedian from then on. And so they're like, they are not a funny person whatsoever. It's just, yes, that is a thing. So, yeah. All right, cool. Now that we got that out of our system, the ambassador will go ahead.
The guy must be a genius. He made these guys laugh.
I mean, the joke that he said was not very good. So, like, that's the thing. That's how I made the joke that one of them is called the comedian without actually having to be a funny person, because I'm not funny. Because I was worried. I was like, ooh, what if they go through all of these like really esoteric, like ominous sounding things like the arcane and the oracle, and then one of them just fucking called the comedian. But then I was like, ooh, but that means they have to be funny. And I'm like, nah, what if they're just not funny? Okay, so the ambassador is gonna help you guys out with whatever you want. Do you want to like ask for a secure place here, or what's the next step? I'm leaving this up to you guys. Like what's going on? Like where do you go?
I don't know. It sounds like Fitz is the one that's really up on security. I'm kind of with Carl. I feel like this place is as safe as anywhere.
I mean,
we walked through a wall to get here.
Yeah, I mean, to pull back a little bit, like Fitz is only going to resist so much. Like he is a data bank for you guys at this point. Like I'm suggesting maybe not here because you are in front of two prying eyes. It's up to you guys what you actually do. If you guys want to just like go find a room in this order to go talk this over, that's totally chill.
You all got a place that we can just crash here for like an evening?
We were already told by the first dude that led us down here, the
ambassador,
the greeter. Yeah, whatever his name was. He told us there was a place for us to hang out.
So off in the corner, the ambassador who has been with you the whole time raises his like robe and is like, "Do you mean me or do you mean the gatekeeper?" Because he's not really supposed to say stuff like that.
No, it was you. You're the one who talked more than the gatekeeper.
That makes sense. I think I do remember saying something about that. Yeah, we can put you guys up for a bit. Depending on how suspicious you are, I can't necessarily guarantee that it's going to be totally paranoia free. But yeah, we can put you guys up if you guys want some refreshments. We can do that too. We've got some space. Tell us what you need, and we'll do our best. We try and stay out of things for the most part, but you guys can definitely crash here for a little bit. Again, I recommend you not spend a full 24 hours here, as things get a little weird.
Well, I mean, you put up Dave and the dog in a place, that'd probably be fine.
Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, we can just take you to the area that they were in. Great. Sounds good. Okay, so he'll lead you guys through a couple of questions. Do you want to bring in Dave from outside and the other person? Isn't there somebody else out there, or is it just Dave with Cindy? The car,
it's just
Dave and the dog.
Dave and the
It's
car.
Dave, Ajax.
Yeah.
Actually,
Ajax
if I remember right,
is with
Ajax is with us.
Yeah, that makes sense
Yeah.
because you guys talked to the gatekeeper about bringing a dog in. Yes,
Yep.
and yeah, threatened to rate him poorly if he didn't let it happen. Okay, yeah. Okay, so you guys do. So it's just Dave with the car, Cindy.
Tyke could just send a message to Cindy and talk to Dave if he wants to calm
he
him
can't.
down.
No, he can't. He knows that he can't. There's an arcane bubble that stops him from doing stuff.
Yeah, that's why I feel so good about just talking anywhere in this place. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't get in here. I assume no one else can.
Yeah, I think Goose wants to bring Dave in.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah, and full disclosure, like this is 100% like, again, parting the DM curtain. This is the best place to talk about this, like legit. So it's not very difficult to convince Fitz. It's just like directly in the Oracle's room. That's weird to me. So like going to another space where you guys can rest. So we'll also call this the end of an encounter. So you guys can do up some strain, but don't treat it as like a night's rest. So don't do the wounds unless Zed's going to do medicine checks while you guys are doing this. And then, yeah, let's have a little conversation.
You know, we never talked about how many uses this super med kit has.
I think it's one per person per. I was going to say encounter, but I think it might be more. Well, yeah, I'll say once per encounter, because encounters for us usually last multiple sessions. I think this marks the end of an encounter that started when you guys left the previous encampment. I think basically the brunch, the driving here, stealing that thing, finding Ajax, getting down here, answering all those questions, that's one encounter. So you basically get one per person per encounter. So you could use one each for all of you guys right now, but you're not gonna be able to do that until the end of whatever this next encounter is, which starts here.
Is it resilience that recovering strain is based on?
Guys, I don't know how to play this game. I think it's a stat. I think it's brawn. Is it brawn? Is that right? No.
I'm asking you.
You know what?
Because strain is based off of one of your other stats.
I know.
We don't
Based off of willpower.
Yeah,
we don't just
based
get
off
all our
willpower.
strain back.
Yeah, you get all your strain back.
Yeah, after a rest, you'll get your strain back. It's just you should get all your strain back after like a rest, basically. Like,
well, yeah. Once you finish an encounter, you get to roll something in like successes, health, which you said we're not doing, and advantages or strain.
well, okay. How about let's do this, because we don't have a ton of time today. And it's not super important for the rest of what's going to happen today. Let's just table that. We can figure that out at the beginning during the pre-show next time. And I'll read the rules again.
Okay.
And so let's dive right into this conversation that is going to happen here. So you guys settle down to chat about this. I don't have any ideas for this, so why don't we describe this room? Let's all pick a very quick thing to describe this room. I'm going to say it's probably relatively stone dungeon-like, but other than that,
There is a rocking chair with partially crocheted like items next to it and a bunch of like yarn.
And of course, they're pot holders.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's all knits, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's crocheting, not knitting.
Yeah, these
I
are
was gonna say it's
crocheted.
crocheting. I don't even look at them.
Yeah. That's.
I was gonna say there's a dog bed.
Oh, okay, yeah. That makes sense. I think it's a really cool dog bed too. It's a nice one. Like it's overly ornate. It's way bigger than it needs to be. It's got a heater that is probably magically powered, because whatever. So it's a cool little dog bed. I'm gonna
Ajax
say
doesn't look at anything else. He just runs over and crawls into the bed. Does the circle 3 times.
Oh yes, Pixie. Oh, the dog bed is also memory foam.
Okay.
Thank you,
I
Pixie.
was gonna say there's one bed for us, like 6 pillows laid in a line on one huge bed.
Yeah, one huge bed. There is a like dining. I'm gonna say the decor is sort of like it's a big room with all of these like low half partition wall things for privacy, but they're not complete like stone walls. And one of the areas is obviously this like dog bed area. Another of the areas is kind of library-esque, but the one I really care about is there's like a coffee table, a bunch of cool old like antique mahogany chairs, and a magically powered fridge. Probably a mini fridge, because that's funnier. because there's no
Right.
outlets down here. Just there's straight up no outlets. Everything's candlelight. Everything's like magically powered, like spell everything. But yeah, there's a mini fridge that is like really like it looks like a chest out of like medieval times, but you can feel the cold off of it. And when you open it, there's like LaCroix and Coke and BS in there and like snacks. It's like the most weird juxtaposition that you could possibly imagine, like this old ancient arcane looking device with just a bunch of modern day BS in it. And everything is like a hotel room also. It's like attached to the fixtures and stuff like that. Like it's all like, it's not like you could like probably like move some of it. Ooh, that's what it is. It's not like glued or bolted. It's like it like magically unable to leave the room. But you can like move it around and stuff. So you could easily like rearrange everything, but you couldn't take anything out except for like the food and drink, obviously. Anybody else got something, or do you want to hop in?
Even those, it just like reappears back in the mini fridge if you try to take it out.
Oh yes, it definitely is magically restocking. That's the best, 100%. Yeah. Anything else before we jump in to the convo? Little talk. Okay, we good? All right, cool. What does this look like when you guys settle down to chat?
I think
So
Tyke instantly falls across on the bed, like across however the 6 people, because he's exhausted. He is so tired.
Cool. Yeah.
And he just says, I think we need to find Dan. We find Dan, we find the servers, we find whoever killed Goose. Sorry, I'm tired.
Perfect. That means you
Yeah.
also have an out if you want to dip, and we can have the rest of the conversation without you, if you're okay with that. So, you know.
Yeah, I would be fine. I
Yeah.
mean, I can hang out for a little while longer, but yeah, that
Yeah.
would make a lot of sense.
So if things are still, you know, if we want to still keep going, then that makes sense. We have another out. Tyke falls unconscious again, and we can at least wrap up whatever's going on, especially
we
because that
carry
is
him around a
also
lot.
that is
Yeah.
also hashtag on brand. So,
Yeah.
all right, Tyke is on the verge of collapsing.
So Barazell told me about this spell. Are we really worried about being spied on?
Yeah.
Okay. Silence.
Uh-oh.
And so I would like to create a vacuum bubble.
Okay, I assume you want to still be able to communicate inside of it and just not have
Yeah.
sound.
So
go
you
out
know,
of
in
it.
Wheel of Time, Lanfear creates that like 3 or 4 molecule thick
Bubble of air.
vacuum bubble.
Yeah, that nothing
No, I
can.
do
Yeah,
not.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Does it say a
I'll make a
difficulty
magic.
for that?
No, because that's not a thing in the book. That's
Let's
something
set
I'm
it
making
at average. You're not going to
Okay.
get a black die because you for sure have done this before. I think between all
No.
well, what I mean is like the moment in the restaurant. I'm going to count that as you having done this, even though it was kind of accidental.
Okay.
I'm going to give you that little boon, but you are going to upgrade this 4 times.
Okay, so that's 2 reds and 2 more purples,
Yes, because
or a purple and a red, or another red, a third red.
starts at 2 purple. So start.
I think it just adds 2 purple.
Yeah, it just adds 2 purple. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Bloop.
I don't think it requires any upgrades.
Okay, so 1 success, 4 advantages, and 1 triumph.
Okie dokie, cool. Yeah, you
Okay.
you guys are totally free from prying eyes. Man, if do you have anything immediately for that triumph that you can think of?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, we can pocket it for a little bit. I'm totally okay with that. Pocketing a triumph for a little bit and seeing what comes up. So I can always come up with some stuff behind the scenes as well. So all right, yeah, you guys are definitely I think when that happens, like it sort of feels like this depth that you're already feeling because you're quite underground suddenly also feels like pressurized a little bit, like it feels a little bit like being in an airplane now, and like there's this like deep like kind of extremely quiet rumbling that is really consistent for whatever reason that is just gone. Like there's all these like static sounds that you have been tuning out, and everything is now silent outside of the bubble that you guys are in, which I'm going to say for the purposes of this, because of all of those advantages, can span the entire room, so that you guys can be comfortable during this. And yeah, you guys feel this like really eerie silence fall on you, and there you go. You're good. You're safe.
That silence is erupted by a Coke can being opened.
Is there like a table or anything with like a pen, paper, writing utensils, anything anywhere?
You wanted, you got it. Yeah, in that like library area that I mentioned before, there's like a desk with a whole bunch of like stuff, like supplies for that kind of thing. Yeah.
I think Goose walks over and spreads a bunch of paper out to like cover the entire top of a table and just starts like trying to like draw out a plan or something.
I think there's also a magical typewriter that just came to me. I don't know if that matters, but there's a magical typewriter. Just because
Where we can take notes.
Is it sentient?
No, I think it's more like you press a couple buttons and it like stenographers.
Okay. I was concerned this was going to be like a Beauty and the Beast moment.
Oh God! Oh no! No, thank you. I'm good. No, we don't need that. So yeah, there's a magical typewriter that will take notes for you guys if you so desire it. You can also put it aside. I don't care. I just like that there's now a magical typewriter that can stenographer for you guys. It's very cool. So what is this like, other than laying the sheets down? Like, what is it actually like? What do you start actually putting on the sheets, or are you basically just note taking at the moment?
Listing names of like people I could think of that I might have like upset during my service time.
Yeah. Can you give us one?
Is that a long list?
Maybe more than what's healthy for a soldier to have.
Are we talking like a handful or a dozen or a few dozen?
I'd say there's a baker's dozen.
Okay, all right. What? I guess we'll find out later. But I'm so curious about these now. Okay, so you start writing down names. What is everybody else doing?
I mean, I guess I'll just like wait till Fitz or Goose has something that they want to say. Fitz, do you even get a signal down here?
I don't know. I can check. He opens up his computer, and that is something I have to roll for.
Tyke can't astro project, but we can pick up Wi-Fi.
You got Wi-Fi from Starbuckles.
Yeah.
I feel like if you can get Wi-Fi, I should be able to astral project. I think that's how my powers work, basically.
He's connected to the Wi-Fi. That's how his powers work.
He opens up his laptop. How much of that is in character? I'm very curious.
All of it.
Okay, so yeah, he opens up his laptop and he goes from this like really grave like Saudade sort of like demeanor, and he opens up and he smirks and he's like, apparently my tech is better than your brain, and he's like, yeah, I have signal.
Snap.
I think I want to try to send a message over his laptop that is like ASCII, right? Giving him.
Are you asleep?
He's still involved. Yeah,
I'm like passed out.
Yeah, he's like feathering in between consciousness.
This can be the thing that like finally knocks me out. Like literally, my strain is that low. I can do one more thing and just like.
Okay, I love it. All right, yeah. Roll. It is also going to be two red, 2 purple, no blue or black die, unless you're using talents. So still probably a slam dunk for you, but hard, definitely.
Yeah.
While he's rolling that, Zed will get a piece of ice out of the little machine and bring it over to Tyke and just set it down in front of him. That's
Wait,
for that
sorry.
burn.
How difficult did you say it was?
2 red and 2 purple. It's base average, but it's upgraded 4 times because you're in the Order of the Deep candle.
Yeah, let me see here.
It probably should be
According
harder
to our
than
book,
that,
According to our book, at the end of an encounter, we can roll a simple roll with discipline or cool to regain strain based on the number of successes.
but- okay.
Oh.
We can just do
And,
that next time. I'm not
if
worried
you
about it right
sleep
now.
overnight, you get them all back. That's
Yeah.
just the end of an encounter. Walking through an alleyway, you can make a roll, but if you actually sleep, you get them all.
And then wounds you only get back if medicine check. I think you get 1 back every
1
full
per
night.
day.
Yeah, and then that's
Yeah.
obviously increased by Zed as well.
Yes.
Yeah, you get 2 as long as you're in my care.
This really should be harder, but I'm okay with you doing this, Jacob. So
Well, I got 3 failures and 3 advantages.
Dang. The dice have spoken.
So
That's
you're
just
able to
bad.
send a meme, just not an ASCII flip off. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, well, I mean, it means you fail at connecting to Fitz's laptop. What I think the advantages are is you connect to something else. What is that? I'll give you a choice, okay? You can connect to modern infrastructure right now, or you can connect to some weird Order of the Deep candle bullshit. I'm giving you 100% the choice.
My goodness. Order of the Deep candle bullshit.
Okay, very cool. All right, so you start to pull your brain. You're kind of falling asleep as this is happening, because again, Tyke is exhausted, and this is taking the last of your energy. You're like, I'm gonna do what I do every time this happens, and I'm gonna give one big fuck you, and I'm gonna pass out. And instead of like, you start to pull your mind out of your body, and you start to like go towards Fitz's computer, and you just feel yourself sucked up like a vacuum, towards down and towards like away from where you were going, like down into an angle, and you end up in a pitch black room. You are very much aware of your surroundings, but it is foggy and strange, like a dream. So I think this is effectively like Tyke is both asleep and essentially projecting himself here at the moment. So most of what we'll do with this is going to be next episode, where we get to actually resolve Tyke being in this place, very similarly to him being in the computer. But you open up, and you can tell that you are inside a glass orb with these multicolored I don't want to say like vapors, because that brings to mind the like oracle stuff, and it's not that. It's more like
And like a guy named Chad.
Chad, what?
Vapors.
Is that like
a person who vapes?
Okay, got it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. Yeah. I'm just slow. I'm just slow, and I'm
It
old.
is hard.
It's bad.
Yeah, you're right. It's a tough crowd.
Yeah, tough
tonight.
crowd. So you are in this like orb with these like weird swirling, what can only be described as spirit-like entities that are just whipping around you, and you hear this cacophony of voices overlapping, and it is really, really uncomfortable at first. And then your brain starts to like catch up with what's going on a little bit. It still is very dreamlike, but you start to pick out like the individual voices themselves, and you can tell that they are talking about the most inane bullshit imaginable. So like you hear a couple people, and it sounds literally just like them talking about the weather over a cup of coffee. It is just boring as hell. And then there's some person just like lugubriously droning on and on about some esoteric subject. What is this subject that they're anybody quick.
Advanced calculus.
Okay, yeah, great. Yeah, they're just droning on about advanced calculus. And like it goes on very similar to like stuff like this, but like it's not all modern. Like some of it is like you hear somebody talk about like positing using all of these weird like kind of archaic terms about what the total weight of the Earth is. Like they're like just guessing and like doing the math. And they're like referencing all these like weird measurement tools that seem really dumb and archaic. There's somebody definitely like it sounds like they're explaining to like a kid how to use a sextant on the bow of a ship, like while in movement with on a ship, which is apparently really difficult. And it's just a whole bunch of this really inane bullshit, and you're very confused and you have no idea what's going on. And that's where we will cut from Jacob's perspective, from Tyke's perspective.
That's
So,
good
Yeah.
because I gotta
Yeah.
get off.
All right,
'Cause I'm
cool.
gonna
We're
be
sad.
Yes.
around tomorrow,
We love you, Jacob. Good luck.
Nerd.
All right, Jacob. We love you very much. It's good to see you. Enjoy your
Right.
trip. And we'll see you next week in the multiverse.
right.
That was fun.
See ya.
Yeah. See you later.
That was anticlimactic when he popped back
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, but so, forgot my keys.
Yo, wait, yeah, okay. So yes. So Tyke says we should probably contact Dan. And then I did he say something else before he passed out? I don't remember. I think he just
Nope.
tried to connect to Fitz's thing, or I think he
Yeah.
said something about do you have signal down here, and then Fitz said the thing about it looks like my brain is or my tech is better than your brain, and then Tyke passes like just you hear snoring. I think I don't know if Tyke actually snores, but you hear obvious sounds of him being asleep. What do y'all do? Or are you waiting for an info dump from Fitz? Because that also makes sense. I can do that too.
I'm waiting for information because it's all above my pay grade here.
Because I think what
Yeah.
kind of brought you guys to the secure area was Goose asking. I forgot the question. It was who would.
What brought us here was Fitz didn't want to talk about anything in the open, and
Yeah.
Goose needs information from Fitz.
Yeah, Goose, you were asking about records of like incursions, that kind of thing. And I
Like,
think
missions, dates, and all that.
and you said something to the effect of, "I just want to know who gave the order."
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
believe.
if the person who pulled the trigger or whatever metaphorical
gone.
trigger is gone, what? Who told them to do it?
Okay, so and then I think he said something about we need to get access to servers. There's a couple ways we can do that, but we need to talk about. Okay, I'm all caught up now. I remember things that happened 25 minutes ago. So once he does that smirk, Tyke falls asleep. He says something to the effect of, "It's not fun if he's just gonna like wuss out like that." But okay, so there are two main places that this information could be stored. There are two main server banks that IS Corp has. One is in the corporate office, which you have been to. We've had short, but it was short, but we've had access to those servers before. And then there is the remote backup, which is kind of covert. I don't know a ton about it. I only know what I remember from setting up the actual redundancies. It is a blackout zone, so I was taken there without knowledge of where it is exactly. So I don't know 100% where that is, but that is the other option. We have the corporate office servers, and we have the blackout zone.
The corporate office servers are going to be protected by the big scary people who basically tromped us into the pavement last time.
Yeah, the ones who spanked us. Yeah.
We also have to think about my safeguards that are in place, which are not going to be easy to get past.
You mean, like, in the movies, the guy that designs stuff normally puts a back door so he can just bypass all that crap. You didn't do that?
Okay. That's not a real thing. I mean, okay. In that, just TLDR, that's not really a real thing. It kind of is, but that's not really how it works. All right. Look, it's
You didn't read that because it was too long to read about? It was in a movie. You should have just watched it.
oh, I'm not even going to try and explain this to you, Carl, but no. Long story short, that's not really how it works. My job was to make it as secure as possible. And because why on earth would I build in a system to, like, if I build in something for me to get in easily, it makes it so that anyone can get in easily.
Well, the problem I have with you being involved at all anyways at this point on a computer side is anything you do with your electronic signature is going to be instantly picked up by a scary lady in the car.
Possibly. My credentials are burned. I'm reasonably sure. If this is, they were revoked temporarily, I assume, for the investigation, but they're not. I mean, I'm not going to get them back. So my credentials are burned. So what we have is what I have built outside of IS Corp, which is robust and likely not traceable, but it is still possible. You're right. Which is why we probably, not necessarily, but we probably need physical access to one of these two server locations.
As the former employee, do you have any idea which one's more likely?
Between physical access and remote access, or between the two locations?
Between the two locations.
I don't even know where the blackout zone is. I know that is where it's mostly run by Cogent. It is pretty much entirely dark, but all of the more covert parts of the organization are based out of there. I'm only privy to a small amount of what they do. I have been working on, like, and of course, like, I built the technological systems there, but it was, knowing what I know now, it was a bit strange to set them up there.
Well, as it stands now, if we go downtown to the corporate headquarters, we're going to have simpler computer access, as in most of the stuff will be there real time and accessible, but we have a threat value of the people that we know are there. If we go and find this hidden away site, we have longer to look for stuff that might be there, but it might also not. But we'll definitely have more time to do what we need to do because they're going to have to come to us as a response. I think that's our best option.
Maybe. I don't know what the defenses are like for the blackout zone. I just don't know.
Maybe we can ask the Oracle or someone tomorrow where the hideout in the blackout zone is.
Yeah, we can try that. We can. I mean, it's also possible we can do standard recon. I don't know 100% what that looks like. We would likely need a location first, so that might be something we can pull.
So, like, from the main servers, when they back it up, are they, like, sending it via satellite to the remote place?
Not really. All right, so there's a quadruple redundancy. So there is the main server bank for all of IS Corp is in the blackout zone. That is where all information that IS Corp is stored most of the time. There is another set of loosely independent servers in the corporate office. They physically get backed up to the and restored to and from the blackout zones servers once a day, nightly, physically. They also have a separate server bank that backs up by underground infrastructure, essentially fiber optics, standard internet, SFTP, and satellite that backs up and restores to and from the blackout zone. And then once it breaks that connection, it backs up and restores to the corporate servers. So it's essentially impossible to lose information one way or the other. And all of these things are as secure as it is possible for them to be.
So in this James Patterson book I read, these guys figured out that it was moving from one server to another, and they went to the fiber optic cable and were able to patch in and steal the data as it was moving. Can you do that?
There is a scenario under which that is possible, but it is unlikely. Look, don't get excited. Again, you got to remember.
Immediately, his shoulders slumped.
You got to remember, I built the safeguards for all of these, which means it is going to be very difficult, no matter what we do, to get this information without having credentials and doing it on the up and up, so to speak. It's going to be incredibly difficult. I built it with my own skill in mind. So social engineering is probably not going to work. Physical access would be the best, because if I can physically access the servers, there are a lot fewer safeguards. It's still going to be tough, but I might be able to break that if we are standing in front of the servers. But that's still not 100%. Every degree of separation we have between us and that server point makes it harder. There are safeguards from the server to the intranet, from the intranet to, the servers aren't even connected to anything outside. There are literally 3 different layers that stops the connection from ever having any information that is usable before it can leave the system, essentially. It all is this own isolated bubble, and then it gets encrypted, and that's a no-go. And then it gets moved, and then after that essentially is locked out. It's kind of like an airlock. Then after it is locked out like that, then it leaves the system to go be backed up. But it's encrypted during that process, and again, I designed it. It's really not possible to unencrypt. That's not 100% true, but it is nigh impossible.
This is why I went into biology instead of engineering.
So you think maybe it's hidden somewhere like on Mount Hood?
I have no idea. This sounds like a role to me. I think this
sounds like something we could use the Triumph on.
That's actually a good point. That's really good. That sounds good.
Can't forget about that.
There's so much national forest out there. It's nice and cool to run a server room. It seems like a good place to hide a big, dark, scary building with computers.
Yeah, I think what this means is that he's going to remember enough information about this, which makes sense. I kind of was envisioning that anyway. He's going to remember enough information about this that you guys will at least have somewhere to start. I'm actually interested, because I don't have a place picked out. I'm interested in not a specific place, but the type of place. What is this information that he remembers that is going to be helpful? You feel free to keep it as vague as you want, because again, I haven't really picked a specific place.
It smelled like cinnamon, like a bakery across the street.
Smelled like cinnamon. Let's keep it at smelled like cinnamon. There was a cinnamon smell, because that could be that could go 2 ways. Either there is something that produces a cinnamon smell nearby, or they artificially made a very strong cinnamon smell to block another smell that might be really important to finding it out, which I think it might be a little bit cool. I don't know. So yeah, there's a strong cinnamon smell. We can figure out exactly what that means later.
We just did that Dune video last night, so I'm worried now there's going to be a giant sandworm that we have to worry about.
lots of blue-eyed people.
Ooh, actually, that's a good one. Let's do that.
Let's not do that.
There are. He knows for a fact that there were actually relatively, way more than normal, frequent, very small earthquakes where they were going. Like they may not have been actually caused by like actual earthquakes, but there were like strange like earthquake like things that happened very often, but very, 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 very mild. So that is the second thing.
I think he traveled several hours outside of Portland, and probably like into Highland Desert, like Eastern Oregon.
Yeah, let's say, because again, I'm interested. He's my character, so I'm interested in him being as badass as possible. Let's say they actually drugged him to bring him over there. So he remembers this, but he has so many like tech timestamp utilities. They thought they removed all traces of like timestamps from his person, but he somehow got something through. He was somehow able to timestamp, so he knows whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but he knows the exact time that it took that he was passed out. So he knows the exact time that it took for them to take him to this place, whatever that is. So you guys have
they forgot his glasses, which have the heads up displays.
Oh,
yep,
that's
glasses.
So good. This was before the actual IS Corp HUD was universal. It was a prototype that he made.
Yeah.
And they didn't know about it yet. And he still had them. So he had a time ticker the entire time. That's good as hell. Okay.
That would also give him a little bit of GPS tracking.
Yeah, possibly. I think they took steps to stop that from happening. So like there was essentially like a network like not an EMP, but like a network. What would you call that? Something that stops network connections.
Just a firewall, just a shield.
Yeah, like just a firewall.
Like there's a word I'm looking for. I hate it when I do this.
Could just be a cell dampener.
Yeah,
in which
dampener.
Case there's
Thank
just
you.
no.
Yeah,
no
there's
signal.
there's a network dampener that they basically have that stopped all of that stuff. So he had no connections, but he had like an internal computer essentially. They removed like they took his watch, they took his phone, they took everything else that is possibly electronic. They just didn't switch out his glasses. So,
well, if you're going Eastern Washington, Central Desert, you don't want to go too far out. So the only thing I can think of is it'd just be a temperature change that he would notice drastically. So it'd be elevation.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We'd be able to put him in the highest plateau, flat desert in the state, because you can tell that it was much thinner air, much cooler air.
I'll leave it up to you. Is it high or low?
Oregon has quite a bit of high elevation desert.
Yeah. Wait, do they really? Do we really?
Yeah. It's high desert.
So are you picking like high elevation desert then? Is that
like
your...
Yeah, just because it's not a wasteland, but it's less inhabited.
Drier air, slightly thinner air. So I'm okay. How did he figure this out? Because they definitely drugged him to the point where he went to sleep in a hotel room in Portland and woke up in the server room. How did he find out about the air? I'm curious about that.
Somebody opened a door when they went in and out of the room.
Ooh, yeah, somebody screwed up. But okay, so I think
then couple that with time. There's only so many places you could go, and
yeah,
there you go.
All right, yeah, that is quite a bit of information. Now, with this being a triumph and not an actual skill roll, I think what this does is it gives you guys a few possibilities, but you are still going to have to do some legwork to figure out which one it is. Obviously, there's probably very few places that this can actually be in Oregon, so I'm not super interested in it having to actually align with the landscape. But yeah, so yeah, with this information, and we can develop exactly what it is like on stream as well at some point. I think this moment is not when you guys figure out when it is. It's when you figure out, okay, we have a place to start.
We have a chance.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like Deschutes County.
It could be Deschutes County.
It sounds a lot like Deschutes,
which is a really big county.
Yeah.
But
having lived there, it sounds exactly like it.
Yep.
Yeah. Bend and Burns are in the same county, and they're 3 hours apart or an hour and a half apart.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, that's true. There's a big radius. So let's say instead of like a bunch of different points, you guys have it narrowed down to like the southeastern like 2/3 of Oregon, basically. This could like describe like almost all of that. So like, you know, a few thousand, tens of thousands of square miles, but you kind of know.
I don't know about tens of thousands, but yeah,
I don't know. I don't know how square miles work. You guys all know this. I'm dumb. So okay, so that's the blackout zone. I think maybe there's some that like we have a little montage of you guys talking about this and doing some planning, and you guys have this really crazy like red line dot looking thing on this table that like has now laid out. All right, you guys know it's probably within this radius, and you're likely going to have to do legwork that does not involve being down here to do that. So that is, we can table that. What do you guys do after like coming to this conclusion where like this seems to be the area that we're looking in?
I think we all need to rest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm interested in a very quick planning session. Both because we kind of need that both in and out of character. To have some like direction so that we know exactly what's going on. Obviously, you know, to part the kimono, next episode we're going to be dealing with like Tyke not waking up at the right time or whatever. So that'll be interesting. But I would like to know what does this like? I would like to like you guys to plan a little bit for this.
I think we keep an eye out close to the base that we know where it is, and anytime a vehicle leaves going on the freeway towards where we assume the blackout zone is, we tail them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could we not set something up like that electronically with Fitz and Tyke? That way we wouldn't have to jump every time somebody moved. We could actually set a parameter outside of the city.
I mean, that's
like an alarm bell.
That's certainly possible, but I don't know.
Or just hack all the cameras in the stoplights.
Yeah, that could be possible. I don't know what sort of safeguards they're going to have for that kind of thing, and I don't think we're really going to know until there is actually someone heading to or from there. So I can set that up. I can start pulling security footage.
Could you?
Other option would be to go that direction and get closer out there and try and find anybody who has seen those sharp, fancy black sedans cruising through their small little towns. I mean, come on.
I'm wondering,
Central Oregon does not have that stuff.
Yeah, they wouldn't have Teslas either. I'm wondering if you could create an error, like if we got to the corporate IS Corp's building, is there a way that Fitz could somehow create, like, oh, there's some kind of emergency, you need to send people there?
You know, I think what I could do is I could pretty easily, if we can get access to something, I can probably make some information. I can corrupt something so that they have to resend it. If I'm remembering correctly, the policy should, I wasn't 100% involved in this part of it. I outlined like what they should do. I did not partake in the implementation because that's above my pay grade, but what they should do if they followed my instructions is once a piece of data is corrupted, you have to verify its integrity with a physical backup. So they will have to send a physical backup from the corporate office to the blackout zone again, which also again happens daily anyway.
Did they have their own physical response team?
Yes. To what? Yes.
I mean, basically, if that building was under an incursion, both electronic and physical, would they have their own people on site to stop it, or would they have to call for backup from Portland?
Well, one thing I will say is, as far as electronic attacks, they don't need it. It's completely autonomous, and if they really did need help, that would fall on me. I had the ability to essentially defend from that from anywhere with this, and he points to his laptop. Without me, though, the system will still defend itself autonomously, and I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I am damn good at my job. So that will probably, they're probably safe in that capacity. As far as like physical responses, likely the counter team would deal with it, though they do have.
I'm just curious because talking about feints and false trails, if we could get them to jump and run out there instead of us having to go there, we could stay here and actually walk into the mainframes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Counter usually deals with like the actual, I guess you would say, forces of IS Corp, the militia. That sucks to say, but yeah, the counter is responsible for that. The head of the counter team it are the people that we dealt with before. The head of the whole thing is Quinn.
I have Goose. How many followers do you have? Your conspiracy people.
That's a good question. God, how many followers do I have?
I think Fitz is like, let me check actually real quick. I don't think we haven't been connected really in a while. And yeah, I guess Fitz is gonna go check. This has to be a tarot card. This 100% has to be a tarot card.
Yeah.
What do we have? Love, attachment, victory, advantage, success, triumph, natural born leader, vision, entrepreneur, honor. There we go. That's it. King of Wands. All right. So as I strike out the King of Wands, so is Goose the king of conspiracy theories. 100%.
At least in the Pacific Northwest.
Yes, at least in the Pacific Northwest, which, as we know, we have a pretty decent cryptid community. We're home to the Bigfoot, the real true home of Bigfoot. Nowhere else can really claim them. I want gender Bigfoot. So I think this truly means, I think Fitz is just, again, the second time ever you have seen him totally aghast. And he just like shakes his head and he says, I don't have the words. You just have to see for yourself. And he'll turn around, he'll turn his computer around, his laptop around. And I mean, what's an actual ridiculous amount of YouTube subscribers? Like 10
million.
10 million is the diamond play button. Has anybody hit 100 million?
I don't think so.
I would think the closest would be PewDiePie.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right. What's PewDiePie at right now? I'm going to find this out.
Yeah.
Obviously, ours is UsTube.
Yeah, on UsTube.
He has actually
109.
Yeah, PewDiePie has 108 million subscribers. So I think this is just shy of that. By maybe half.
Okay.
So not only
Just shy by half.
Well, I mean, you I don't think Goose has the universal appeal that somebody like PewDiePie has.
Yeah.
I think you are like scratching at 50 million subscribers. Like, not like you have literally like 2 videos and a picture. I think three videos and a picture at this point. Actually, yeah. I want to ask Goose, have you uploaded the video of Zed by now? You have had ample opportunity.
Definitely.
I have, yeah.
Okay, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. So yeah, so you have, I think, 3 or 4 videos and a picture. All of them have, I think, on the tune of hundreds of millions of views. and I think it's going to be like in the Robin is saying 69, and I really want to do that, but I wanted to go under 50. So you have 42 million subscribers.
Perfect.
Okay.
And counting roughly. So again, you are the absolute king of cryptid, like conspiracy theory BS right now. Like,
So we got these documents about aliens. What if you, in all of your social media power, said that you wanted to release these documents in person in that region?
In a black
many
site
people-
that nobody knows about, that is a
How many
corrupt,
people would show up to that region? And
a corrupt
I'm
government
sure
organization.
yeah, I'm sure IS Corp would send people. We could totally find it. Like, just flood the place with tourists.
So I don't think we've actually gotten a lot of chances to read those files other than the one page.
yeah.
That was all blacked out
Nope,
except
they're in your
for
pack.
Yeah. So, does it look like anything interesting or concerning actually is still in there, or is it all redacted out?
I mean, Zed, that's the greatest physical attack on a government entity that I have heard of in a long time, and it might just free up the downtown office that we could just walk right in.
The game master is having a panic attack right now. I mean,
40 million people descending on
Well, not 40 million. Some have jobs.
look,
Yeah.
6 or 7 million.
here's the
Yeah.
thing. We have real life anachronisms for this. Like, we have seen some of this BS happen. So, number one,
Yeah.
you have 42 million subscribers. Number two, I believe you rolled a triumph on the research, on the knowledge check, being helped by Zed when you got those documents. If not, I think you used you might have used a tarot card. Either way, equally like heroic, essentially. So again, best possible so there has to be juicy info there. You just also used the tarot card. Well, I used it because I'm apparently a masochist, to become the king of cryptids. So I mean,
The world is our oyster.
this is a slam dunk.
At this point, Fitz is just sitting there slack-jawed, staring at Dr. Zed.
I've backed myself into a corner. This whatever this plan is, if you guys are doing it this way, this is a slam frickin' dunk. Obviously, there's going to be some checks involved, but I am so for this.
I mean, I was trying to figure out how we were physically going to attack the building, but I think 10 or 12 million people is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say about this. I think I think you probably Goose wouldn't know this, but the rest of you who might be like normal users of UsTube will probably know that a slow buildup is the best way to actually make it work. You're not going to be able to post a video and the next day have everybody show up. You're going to need a slow buildup.
I think we should still go and find this place, Dr. Zed.
Yeah.
I think we need video and pictures of it, and I think we need Goose standing there looking at it through a pair of field binoculars.
So
I think we need B-roll, Zed.
Yeah.
Yeah, this definitely needs to be planned well.
Yeah.
I get a
We need
feeling
B-roll.
Do you guys
only get one shot.
Do you guys remember the actual real thing that happened in the year 2020, where I want to speak very carefully because I don't want to like alienate anybody, because I also really love this.
Funny choice of words.
Oh yeah, but there was a bunch of extraterrestrial believers, like in governmental conspiracy theories, hiding that there was this really viral. I think it was kind of a joke. Gathering that was supposed to happen outside the military establishment of Area 51, where they were literally
They were going to storm it.
They were going to storm in, And
those are some of the best memes
yeah,
I've
it was
ever seen.
prime meme material. And like, this is a known government establishment that there are like felony, like federal crimes to do stuff like that, and a whole bunch of other stuff that deterred the people going there. And there's still, I believe, we're like a couple thousand or something like that, maybe tens of thousands people that went there.
Yeah.
The main deterrent was COVID.
Yeah, and COVID. They literally had everything working against them. You guys are the opposite. You have essentially the same scenario, except you have everything working for you. So I think what this means is that it needs to be executed like that. I think it needs to be executed like slow roll. You start talking about it and you plan it and you get the word out there regularly. You get the hype going for a bit of time, and then you execute and have people there, and then like whatever the rest of the plan looks like.
We get a website designed by Fitz set up, and it has like a countdown timer to when Goose will reveal the information.
You know, Goose, we could also stroll this as maybe possibly the epicenter of these occurrences.
Yeah.
Oh,
Unexplained
man.
earthquakes.
Yeah.
Unexplained earthquakes, a black facility in the middle of the desert, and then all of a sudden the world's getting attacked by monsters, and there's a sudden angelic government, non-government entity trying to save the world. How
And-
convenient.
Take over.
I can't.
Storm the castle.
Yeah. Okay. So, I think that's probably where we're going to leave it for today. You guys have codified that this is going to be, it seems to be, this is going to be the center of your plan. If you guys have any like big planning stuff you want to do now, that's fine. We can do that now. But I'm also interested in that happening when Tyke comes back.
I
Legit planning.
kind of just want to tell Fitz, you seem like a nice enough kid, but if you ever learn anything from me, it needs to be that any business, government, organization exists for one and one reason only, and
What's
that's
that,
to
Goose?
ambiguate the guilt of the atrocities that the people in it commit.
On any other day, I might argue with you.
Carl's excited to go find a Super 8 camera so he can get the most grainy film footage he can.
It's gonna be like shaky.
Yep.
All right. I think
Blair Witch Project, here we come.
I think next episode is probably going to be some sort of involve, at least start with some sort of cool planning montage. That sounds epic to me, and then we'll start building building a virally marketed conspiracy theory gathering. Sounds fun. As always, yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, just like Zed suggested, just post a video of a countdown timer.
Yeah.
Just to
Yeah.
start it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's a great place to end, actually. What is the first, yeah, this is perfect. What is the first thing you guys do to start this down? Like start this. What is the, like, you have a connection to the internet via Fitz's thing. What is the first thing, just the very first thing that you guys do? Is it like Squarespace or some stuff?
I think Goose should
Zed holds
be
up a
holding
camera
up a
at
piece of paper.
Goose. Yeah.
Yeah, he should be holding up a piece of paper that talks about aliens. He goes, I think I found it.
Okay. All right. Okay. I want to roll. I definitely want to roll for this. I want a group roll. I don't know what it should be. Probably leadership. Yeah, Jinx,
Yeah.
definitely. Okay, it's definitely leadership. Does anybody have that talent that we've been talking about behind the scenes for ages about somebody taking? And does it happen?
I do not.
Okay. The second question is, do you have the experience after today's episode to purchase that talent?
Which one was it?
That's the one where you can make like a leadership role to especially
I think it's a tier 2 talent, right?
might be. I don't remember. I never actually was able
Is
to
it
look
in
at
the
it.
core book?
It should be, I think.
Hmm.
This is totally worth it. We've literally we rolled twice this session in an hour and a half, and we're ending with a roll. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Nobody can say we don't play the game.
Counter offer.
I don't. I would have to buy a tier 1 talent and then also a tier 2 talent. I'm 5 short.
5 short.
I actually have counter offer, but that's used to go against non-nemesis adversaries.
Is that 5 short including the 5 you'll get for today?
Let's see.
Yeah, I don't see anything like
It does.
that.
Okay.
I'll only have 10.
That's fine. I'm also interested in you not being that good at it right now, and maybe picking it up later and making it even better. But yeah, let's do a leadership roll. We can start with Goose's stats, and if anybody has better presence, we can use that.
I guarantee they do. I have a 2.
I've got a 3.
Okay, we can use Zed's presence. Does anybody have ranks in leadership?
Nope.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think so. All right, so it's going to be 3. Oh, I need to check and see if Fitz does, because he should if he doesn't.
I mean, I have negotiation.
No.
I'll do Touch of Fate to add 2 blue.
Of course you will.
There it is.
Fitz. Perception, vigilance, knowledge, reigns, discipline, mechanics, operating, computers. Nope. Not at all. No leadership at all. Great. Yeah. And he has 1 presence. Cool. Why did I do that? Whatever. Because I wanted him to be a smart boy, guys. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So it'll be 3 greens. You got the normal 2 blue die. You used a card to get your following, so I'm gonna add a couple blue die. And I think this is to generate hype. Like this is obviously this is to generate intrigue, essentially. Okay, like interest. And I also think So you're gonna have how many blue die are you giving it for the feat for the talent?
I'm given 2.
Okay.
So
you said a couple, so 4 total.
We're talking about talents. Clever rhetoric would be able to be worked with this.
What is? I don't know what that is.
Clever rhetoric is once per encounter, a character may use this talent to add an automatic 2 successes to another character's social skill check. But I don't think any of us have this.
Nah, it's fine. We can just do it as it lies for now. I think it's okay. I am going to give you a black die for
sounds right. Being too awesome.
Yeah, just so many. I mean, there's so many reasons. It's hard to even say. I mean, like, it's the internet. This is naturally a thing that people like a lot. I think a lot of your viewership at this point are people that disbelieve and find it entertaining because there are horrors right now. So I think you definitely have some stuff to overcome. Again, you are defaming. Essentially, I mean, you are kind of viewed as this IS Corp anti thing right now. Especially with the video that you just posted, with the we're counter, we're evil, blah 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 blah, etc. So you're definitely going to upgrade it twice from the base difficulty, which I think I'm going to set at hard.
Okay.
So to recap,
a purple, 2 red,
2 red, a purple, a black, and 4 blues against whatever you normally have, which I think is
3 green.
3 green, yeah.
Thanks to Zed.
I said the episode that's releasing today, I said something about this is the most complicated roll we've ever done. We've now trumped that.
All right, here we go. Oh, the clicks and the clacks.
Clicky clack, clackety, click, 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 click. Ooh, guys, you need an animal companion that isn't Ajax, because I can do dog sounds, but it's not nearly as fun as like weird rodent sounds.
Oh, well, that's a total wash. But I'll use Lucky Break to re-roll it and add 1 more blue die.
Hell yes. How else? How else do we resolve this? How beautiful.
Yeah. So that does take a story point to do that ability.
Okay, yeah.
That
That's
would be the present.
that's the cards, but I think because we essentially used a card to create this following, I think that's what this looks like. So basically, if you had done this without this massive following that you have, it would totally not work. But because you have this massive following very suddenly over 2 days, you essentially get another chance at it. So that's your story point spin.
Okay. It looks like 2 success and 2 threat.
What a perfectly poetic thing. So to end, we see a short montage of the boys. Actually, let's lay out what the first part of this video looks like. So we have a camera on Goose holding papers. You guys established that. What does Goose say to the camera?
Go ahead. I got you.
In T-minus 8 hours, we're going to reveal the location of a major secret conspiracy, and then I just hold up the folder for the extraterrestrials and show like the first 3 lines of 1 page of it.
Yeah, and I think Fitz sort of like pipes up. He's like, they can't see that. You have to get closer. And then
I'm holding it too high.
Yeah, and then Zed bring the camera closer, and you kind of like bring it up, and like you do the like weird like this thing, like putting a thing up very close to a camera, and you go through the 3 lines. I don't think we established what exactly the first 3 lines were. We just established that there's a lot of text on here, a lot of it's redacted, and there's a lot of the word bobble on it. So what do these 3 lines say? Keep them vague enough that it isn't like straight up proof, but for conspiracy theorists, definitely proof.
Held on site. 1 line.
Held on site, redacted, bobble, redacted.
And the date of the Roswell landing.
Oh, yes. Okay. Held on site, redacted, bobble, redacted, bobble, the Roswell landing site, date, redacted, and what's the like very last thing it says? Ed, just ED, or the name Ed?
Head.
Oh, head. Okay. Yeah. All right. So
for some reason, bubbles.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, I love it. So yes, held on site, redacted, bobble, redacted, bobble, Roswell, date, redacted, head. Period.
July 8th, 1947.
July 8th, 1947. And then because of Fitz being a techno genius, okay, so the camera, the perspective for the audience actually like pulls back a little bit, and we see this flash of just thousands of people watching this on different devices. The video stays the same, but we zoom out, and the sort of like those really quick like face montage videos, everything flashes around where the scenery changes, the device changes, the size and aspect ratio changes, the person watching it changes. Thousands of people we cycle through, and we zoom out in the video as we see these lines play across the screen, and then it just cuts to a black screen with an 8-hour timer, and it ticks down to 7 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds. And then the camera cuts to black entirely. And that's where we'll end for tonight. As always, join our Discord, tweet at us at RPGsAnonymous1, give us story ideas, give us item ideas, ask us questions about characters, give me more acronyms to use, all of the above, or just say hi. That's always cool. Discord link in the description, YouTube, Twitter, all that in the description. Also our RSS.
iTunes.
Yeah, we're on iTunes, Spotify, any other podcatcher that you have. And also, if you want to go direct RSS, RPGsAnonymous.podium.co. You guys have anything else to plug?
Check out our Muad'Dib video from yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, the producing protagonist, episode 1.
Yeah, by the time this goes live, we should have both the first episode of Teaching Jacob Genesis, where we build a character, and the first episode of Producing a Protagonist, which is Muad'Dib from the Dune series. You get to see me know nothing about Dune and get explained to for like
A lot of mansplaining in there.
I mean, we're all men, so we can mansplain to each other. Is that okay, actually? Can we mansplain to each other?
I don't know.
I know you're not supposed to do that in general, but I don't know. Neither here nor there. Yeah. We love you guys. Thanks for coming by, and we'll see you in the multiverse.
Deuces.